Bienvenidos, worldwide fans of our planet's hottest entertainment with an edge. You got Jaime En Fuego here, welcoming you to my namesake program, Enfuegotainment. And this is another Rapido Fuego review of a film from 2019 that I never got around to. This is the second film from Babak AnvariI, who did Under the Shadow. That was a Persian language film that I saw a few years ago. I was very impressed with it. It was a supernatural psychological thriller of sorts, and this being the follow-up, and that film had some legitimate buzz behind it. We have some actual Hollywood star power in this film. There's Armie Hammer, there's Dakota Johnson, there's Zazie Beetz. It premiered at Sundance in January of 2019. Had some buzz behind it, but then ended up getting niched from its theatrical release, picked up by Hulu here in the United States, and it's everywhere else on Netflix. So yeah, dumped to streaming. So does that mean this film is actually worth your time in the midst of quarantine when you're trying to find something to watch? Well, I guess it really depends on how much you've watched already. This film did not blow me away by any way, shape, or form, unfortunately. It's very much a mystery thriller, dramatic elements. I mean, I guess the argument could be made that it has a little bit of horror here and there, but it's really, more so than anything else, about just like the spiraling into sadness and a little bit of like drunken depression that we get from Armie Hammer's character, because he's a bartender and he's like seemingly the toast of Rosie's, this place that he works at. Everybody digs the hell out of him. He's got a lot of regulars that seem to like and respect him and everything. He's dating little hottie Dakota Johnson, who is presumably significantly younger than him, college student. He suspects that she's having an affair with her professor Steve, and so on and so forth. But I mean, I've always dug Armie Hammer, in the things that I've seen him in. That maybe one of my personal favorites was that Guy Ritchie, the reimagining of sorts of Man from U.N.C.L.E. I thought he was terrific in that movie. Him along with Henry Cavill. But I mean, yeah, I've always dug him as an actor, and he's not bad in this. Really, the problems with this movie with the script, man, I mean, it's adapted from a novella by an American writer called The Visible Filth, I believe. But really, it just boils down to there's a fight at his place this one particular evening. One of his regulars gets stabbed in the face with a broken beer bottle. The guy that Zazie Beetz is actually at the bar with, and she's a regular, and she kinda seems to have a little thing with Armie Hammer's character. Maybe they hooked up a few times before, but now she's moved on and she's with said new guy, and you can kind of tell Armie Hammer's a little jealous about it, or maybe nothing ever happened. The film doesn't necessarily even address that, but that there is an attraction between the two of them. But so Zazie's new dude, who seems to be a little bit more on the timid side, and for that reason Armie's kind of giving her a little bit of crap about it, just teasing more so than anything. But yeah, Zazie's new dude, above and beyond, nuts up and helps break up this fight between these big burly like biker looking drunken bar dudes, and yet one of those guys gets stabbed in the cheek with a broken beer bottle. I mean, we're talking like slash nasty, like right there. And yeah, so Armie Hammer's character helps, break up the fight as well and get the guys out of there, says he's going to call the cops, whatever. Lo and behold, from there, it turns into a situation, because even more so than what's already gone down, because there's these 4 college students, and one of them leaves a phone at the bar. Armie Hammer finds the phone. He just kind of can see the smudge mark of what the little password is, and I still use a numeric password, but I know some people still love doing the little design thing or whatever. But so yeah, he's able to distinguish how to open up this phone, starts going through it, finds some incriminating photos in there. It looks like maybe these, there might be some murder involved, and so that's the only thing even close to horror in this. This is like definitely psychological mystery, like thriller, drama sort of thing. That's why I'm reviewing it here, not on the horror show. And yeah, man, it just spirals from there, because he becomes obsessed with what he sees in the phone. He ends up eventually showing Dakota Johnson's character, his live-in girlfriend, who may or may not be diddling her professor. Armie Hammer's character, as the film goes on, he becomes pretty positive that that's the case, and so that in turn justifies him trying to hook up with Zazie Beetz despite her having a boyfriend. And that actually makes up the crux of the drama, is him, you know, messing up his relationship, him just drinking more and more. He's just getting frazzled throughout the entire film. He's starting to mess up his work situation as this beloved bartender that he is. And I mean, like at one point talking smack to the owner of the place, Rosie herself. I mean, you know, friends, like these local cops are starting to look at him like, dude, what is wrong with you? You're starting to lose it a little bit. I mean, from a visual standpoint, it's interesting. He keeps seeing these bugs throughout the entire movie, but I mean, roaches to be specific kind of roach. But I don't know, man. After I just enjoyed Under the Shadows so incredibly much, it's so funny how that being a much smaller film with, you know, Middle Eastern actors, actresses, and whatnot, this one bringing in the American star power, I was not as impressed with this. I really was not. And so that's really about the extent of my thoughts. Dakota Johnson's okay, Zazie Beetz is good. I've always enjoyed both of them. You know, Dakota Johnson, thank goodness you got your cutie buns away from goddamn 50 Shades of Crap or whatever the hell that was, because pretty much everything else I've seen her in, she's great. Zazie's, you know, solid in pretty much everything I've seen her in as well. So I don't know, man. I mean, this is one that I honestly, especially after seeing the trailer when it was initially announced before it got dumped on the streaming services, I was pretty stoked about, especially with how much I dug the previous film from Babak. But I really wonder where this filmmaker goes from here. I mean, I'm sure other opportunities will arise, you know, because this isn't a bad film. It's just, it's a wonky script. It's not a horror movie. It's not even that effective of a psychological thriller. It's really just more a sad drama about how this guy becomes paranoid after finding this phone and thinking certain things are going on, and it doesn't really explain a lot of things that are going on, which is very unsatisfying. And it's not one of those films where it's evidently vague, at least in my estimation, and there's just lots to ruminate on and contemplate afterwards, and really just, you know, I've said this about a few films that I've watched in self-quarantine since the world moved on, basically, that there's a lot of things that I've watched where I'm like, okay, I didn't necessarily get every aspect of it. There's some interpretive areas here, but I really enjoyed it enough where I feel like I could get more out of this movie with a second watch. You know, that happened to me recently with Starfish. That happened to me recently with Justin Long's The Wave. This movie, I don't think I'd get very much more out of it from a second watch, and so that's definitely a slight. So for the grading system here, I'm going to say this was a malo film. This was a bad film. I'm giving this 2 out of 5. It's one of the less impressive of all of the things that I have been just binging and reviewing here for Enfuegotainment since all of this craziness went down. So I'm the namesake man. Once again, I'm Jaime En Fuego. You can find more on all social media sectors: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, just like you see below. Lots of indie film coverage, as I mentioned. The few that I just said, Starfish and The Wave, and Little Joe is one that I watched recently that I really enjoyed. That's also on Hulu. Lots of Star Wars coverage. That was my thing when I first relaunched this channel a little over a year ago, but I really enjoy covering smaller films that a lot of people haven't necessarily heard of, and I was hoping this would be a, just overlooked gem. It wasn't, so it is what it is. If you want actual horror coverage, like the legit shit, jump over to youtube.com/thehorrorshow channel, like you see below, and that's where myself, the showrunner Cecil Laird over there, who is also the producer along with myself, Marsha Parker, Susa von Slota, Robert Duell, we actually cover real horror stuff. I mean, we're talking film reviews, trailer reactions, convention coverage, back when conventions were still a thing, unboxings, video game let's plays, you name it, everything under the horror umbrella, and it is a lot of fun, and it's something we're trying to maintain as best we can, despite not really being able to film currently, and doing things remote, trying various things, just like the entire world is having to do. We're all having to adapt, at least to this situation. We are still, fingers firmly crossed, will be temporary as opposed to as long-term as it is starting to seem. And there you have it. That's about the extent of it. Until next time, everybody, I've been Jaime En Fuego, and until the reel of Ka comes around once more, hasta luego, cinemigos, and constant readers and viewers alike, because I get both on here. But I'm hopeful that we get to share more of this palaver sooner rather than later. And until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and watch more movies. I don't know if I'd say this one though.